Most developers think SQL is just for database admins, and that mistake quietly costs them promotions, opportunities, and time every single week. I've taught thousands of developers how to use SQL to write better code, debug faster, and stand out in their careers. In this video, I'll show you why SQL is essential for every developer and how learning it gives you an edge that most people overlook. And if you want a step-by-step plan to improve, grab my SQL roadmap guide. The link is in the description. Every application interacts with a database in some way. Think of an e-commerce app or an online shopping website like this. It needs to pull in customer details, products, and orders from a database. And here's a simple query to find recent orders. It gets data from orders, customers, and products to find orders created in the last 7 days. It's just a simple set of tables to show this example. However, if you can't write queries like this, you're relying on others and slowing down your own work. So reason number 1 is that SQL is everywhere in software development. SQL gives you the power to answer questions quickly. Let's say your manager asks, who are our top 5 customers by sales this month? With SQL, you don't need to wait for the data team. You can do it yourself. You could write a query like this. This query finds the customer ID and the sum of the amount of orders. It is limited to the last 30 days. It also groups by customer ID and then sorts by the total sales, and finally limits the results to only 5 rows. Using this query means you've got the answer in seconds. This is a benefit of SQL. It makes you more self-sufficient and valuable on your team, which is reason number 2. Here is another reason. Imagine your app is showing the wrong order totals. This could be a defect that has been identified by a customer or a user, maybe because of a new feature you're building. Without SQL, you might spend hours digging through logs or experimenting with the front end to find the data. However, with SQL, you can just check the data directly. Here is a query to find the order ID and the calculated total, which could be the quantity times price. Then we show the actual order total here. This could show you which orders have an incorrect total, which can help you with your debugging. In seconds, you can see if the issue is in the code or the data. That's a huge time saver. You can take this even further by looking for trends, comparing data, and even looking into the details of different records to debug the issue. So reason 3 is that SQL can help with debugging issues. Poorly written queries lead to slow applications. Here's an example of a query that may not use indexes properly. This could be because there's an index on order status, but it won't get used because the lower function is being used on this column. That small mistake forces the database to scan every row. One way around this is to create an index on the function of this column, or in other words, an index on the lower function applied to this column. Another way is to use the actual value that is stored in the database, such as this query. It should run pretty quickly because it can use the index. If you know SQL well, you'll write efficient queries and avoid bottlenecks before they reach production. Finally, career growth. Employers love developers who know databases. It shows you can work across the full stack, not just the application code. Having stronger SQL skills than your peers can help you with all the skills in this video, and can help you get promoted and get other opportunities. You could say this for many skills in software development, but SQL is common and has been around for a while. It's one of those underrated skills that can really set you apart. If you want to take the next step, download my SQL roadmap guide in the description. And if you're serious about improving your SQL, check out my full course. The link is also down below. So remember, SQL is everywhere. It helps you solve problems faster, debug and test more effectively, write better performing queries, and accelerate your career. Don't ignore SQL. It could be the skill that makes a difference for you as a developer. Now that you know why SQL is so important, the next step is to see how to avoid the most common SQL mistakes that developers make. Check out that video next. Thanks for watching.